Happy Carnival!
All right.
And welcome to another episode of Tales from the Parade Route. Tonight we have the very special honor of interviewing with one of the Carnival's walking parades, the Krewe of T-Rock. So
we're not really a parading organization. We paraded once. We're
Okay.
more of a, not even a ball club. We're a club.
Okay.
We throw a party each year, but we've only paraded in 2021 when there's no Mardi Gras down there, so we did it in the neighborhood.
Okay.
We
In the
appreciate
snow.
it.
So.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit of history about the crew. You know, how'd y'all come to be? And
Well, it was founded my first Mardi Gras day, March 7th, 2000. And, you know, it was inspired by earlier in the week. I saw a bunch of college guys giving out T-shirts that said "Crew of Pussy." Now, that's a little crass, but I was like, that's kind of a good idea in principle. So I was like, you know what? What makes a crew? You just call yourself a crew, and you're a crew. So, for the first couple of years, it was called the Krewe of T-Rock, and then a couple of years into it, I started getting some dolls made because I know people who make dolls, and so I got a little. I don't know if you can see it in the background. I don't want to knock anything over, but
You're not.
got a doll made that looked like me. So we changed the name to the Krewe of Lil T-Rock because that's what we named the doll.
okay.
And every year we'll put that in quotes. We've had a pre-Mardi Gras party. Used to be the Thursday before Mardi Gras Day, and then we transitioned it over to the Friday morning before Mardi Gras Day, after the greasy of the poles. So that's been kind of our time slot since that point. You know, the first couple of years, it was like 4 or 5 people showed up. So it was it was mainly made up of people off the old NOLA.com Mardi Gras forum, or the Mardi Gras forum on NOLA.com. So it was just more of just a kickoff party, like, hey, we're getting into town, let's all get together for something. So that was the impetus behind it. And it wasn't really anything, you know, special at that point. It was just kind of, you know, this is this is the time many of us are getting into town, and so that's a good idea to do it then. But then, as a couple of years went on, it's like, well, we're not getting as many people on Thursday, and you know, we have all these people come in. They go to the grease of the poles on Friday morning, and after the grease of the poles, they're all kind of dispersing. So I'm like, well, the group's already together anyway, so let's just all move the party to Friday morning. So that's what it's been since that point, and it's been much more successful once I moved it to that point. And then
When did you start getting your beads made?
2021 was the first year. Sorry, 2001 rather, not 2021. 2001 is the first year I had beads made. So there's beads made in 2000 and 2002. There was a sample done in 2003. But unfortunately, due to 9/11, I ended up losing my job for the job I was at. So I had to cancel that order. So there's one of those beads, which is the sample. And then 2020, so there's nothing for 2023. 2003, sorry. 2000, so long at this point. 2003, there was nothing. 2004, there was nothing. 2005, I had a little plastic cup made. Because, you know, cups being a throw, but it was very generic. It was just a little yellow cup, like a 12-ouncer, and it just said Krewe of Lil T-Rock on it. It was nothing special. But then the next year after that, 2006, that's when I started getting beads made.
Okay.
And for like 10 years, starting in 2004, that's when the dolls started appearing. I had a new doll made each year, but after about 10 years of it, it got to the point where it was enough, so we stopped getting dolls made.
So it was just him for the first 13 years?
Yeah, well, first 13 years, yeah, up until...
And then we met. And then once we decided that this was going to be more than just, hey, I go to Mardi Gras once, we got engaged to Mardi Gras, and then I got to be on the beads. And so now the crew is actually expanded to a third person, one of our friends, she lives in Connecticut now. She will meet us down at Mardi Gras. So there's 3 of us in the crew, officially.
Okay.
We get to be on the beads every year.
And when she showed up, that's when things really exploded. Because previously, it was just kind of the stuff I had the first couple of years on the beads was just words. But when I started doing it was 2006 when I started getting beads made again. I actually tied them in with a theme we would do with a different crew that I'm in, the KOE, that used to be known as the Krewe of Elvis, and they're a walking crew in the quarter on Mardi Gras Day. So I would just mirror my theme off of what their theme was. So in 2006, for example, their theme was a circus theme. And I was doing the sideshow, so I did leprechaun gold. So I had like little gold beads, gold medallions, and then the next year after that was it was a pirate theme. So I had a pirate flag made, but went on that way until I met her, and that's when we started doing better themes. We did our own themes. That's when we started encouraging people to like dress up for what we were doing. We started having royalty at that point because previously there was no royalty. There was really no point. It was like 4 or 5 people showing up, and then gradually expanding. But now that she's showing up, we get like 100 people a year. So, and it's
nice.
and people we know on the internet. Everybody's welcome. It's really just show up and you're invited.
So it took a lady to come in and get your act together and bring some people to the ball.
Yes. She classed the place up.
Well, I think y'all picked a good day though, because really the greasing of the poles has really become quite an event, And if to go to that and then go to your party and what else is there that day? Is that bosom buddies?
That day. I mean, no disrespect to the parades that roll on, during the week leading up to it, but that day really you see like, the breath being pushed into Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
With the greasing of the poles, you got all the different walking crews that celebrate, their march that day.
Tux does theirs. Fat Bankers Ball.
Yeah,
Fat Bankers March.
Iris does their toast. You got bosom buddies. You got the divas. You got all these different groups that get together on that Friday to what and then having groups like yourself, to where that's the perfect day for it,
So we scheduled a party, and we started at Razoo's.
Yes.
And then so we know Paige from Bosom Buddies.
Right.
And she asked if she could come toast at our party. We're like, sure, come on in. And so now we've changed location a few times, but we've made sure that we stay on Bourbon Street so that our folks can go out and watch Bosom Buddies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When they come by.
Yeah, so for the last couple of years, we were at Spirits on Bourbon, and that's just changed ownership, so it's now called the Tipsy Trumpet.
Yeah.
So it'll be...
wait, they sold... they were... just before the show, we were actually watching Bar Rescue episodes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's, and I know that they were John Taffer's, representative of... If you do everything like we tell you to do, this is how you be successful in the bar industry. I know there was several episodes where he had them show up. So, wow, that's surprising that bar changed hands.
Well, it could be.
Sounds like it happened very quickly, just from what we've heard from our friends who were down there.
I don't know the ins and outs. What I know is like December, end of December, middle of December, it closed. And then they rebranded. I heard that the people who own Oceana bought it. I don't know if it's true or not. But they have a couple of Oceanas. So I heard they opened. It's now called the Tipsy Trumpet. So they redid a little bit of it, but they weren't closed very long. So I don't think
they were back open in a couple of weeks.
There were not many renovations, rather. So, but yes, it'll be 11 a.m. that Friday before Mardi Gras, which is going to be the the 9th. Am I doing my math right? Yeah, February 9th, 11 a.m. And, we're there for like 2 hours. We're usually there a little longer, but officially it's for 2 hours. And we'll choose some royalty. We'll have some king cake. We'll pick up a couple of king cakes at King Cake Hub. Charles, who has made some doubloons of wooden nickels for us. So our official throws will be. Our official throws will be.
I swore that was his picture on the doubloon. I'm like, how'd you get on the doubloon?
He is. He was royalty last year.
Okay.
So he is on the poker chip.
Yeah, he's on the poker. So our official throws would be our beads, which is our 25th year beads, and then our CD, because we have a CD made each year. We just it's stuff we burn. It's not anything original.
Yeah.
And then he volunteered to make poker chips and wooden nickels, and we're like, okay. So
actually,
it's really weird that
I went to
a crew that is just like based upon my image. People are paying their own good money to put our faces on stuff. We're like, all right, sure, you want to do it.
Well, we're both the balloon guys too, so we get it.
That's what I've heard.
But
to have something that's a good keepsake for the attendees, with the bead. I mean, we've seen the picture obviously from the balloon, and then Charles had sent us pictures of the bead itself. I mean, it's very beautiful, colorful artwork. So it's not just due to lack of better words, someone pulled out a Sharpie and real quick wrote some initials or whatever on it.
Well, yeah, the guy who does the artwork for Toth, he's the one who did our
Sean Gatro.
Sean.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's got his hands in a lot of parades at this point.
Yeah, he does.
I think Carrollton too. He's doing or did.
Yeah.
The other thing we do at our party is we pick a charity every year and then do a raffle. So,
Roots of Music.
Yeah, that's what we're doing this year. But I did 2 platters this year. I ride with Mystical Order of the Phoenix.
Okay.
So I'm making platters, and I usually make at least one for our raffle. This year I did 2, because if he gets his face on one, I get to have my face on one too. But
Who's float are you on for Phoenix?
I'm on float 20.
Do you know your lieutenant?
Kara.
It seems like that's my girlfriend rides on your float. And
who's your girlfriend?
Beverly.
What's her last name?
Rainey. And then you have Amy Ott's also on your float.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
and Kim Guidry. Yeah, so I love those girls. Where's she riding, up top?
Yes. Yeah, she doesn't want to deal with people. She likes being on top.
Well, all of those
of the float.
Of the float,
yeah.
Right. They have ridden on the top since Nick's. They've all ridden together on the top.
Yeah,
I have no desire to ride up on top. I love being on the bottom.
I'm with you.
Yeah. The stairs are scary.
Yeah, well, no. I like being amongst the crowd, and I always felt like being on top that you're kind of throwing to whoever's looking at you rather than getting that personal connection.
Yeah. And when you have something like a platter.
Yeah.
I mean, I've thrown them, but I don't like throwing them.
They fly pretty well.
Yeah.
I ended up getting one last year, and she's chucked it my way for But, no, I mean, I'm with you, though. I prefer to be on the bottom. That just seems more into the thick of it all,
Yeah.
Plus, if it rains, you have a little cover.
Yes. Yes. I'm second in the well, I believe. And, I mean, it's rained on us so many times.
Yeah, y'all haven't had very good luck.
Not so much. Not so much. Last year, at least, it stopped raining when we rolled. But lineup was not fun.
Yeah, we had the same issue where during lineup it was raining cats and dogs because we roll the night before y'all.
Yeah, you're with
Excalibur.
Excalibur.
Yeah.
I'm Nick's Excalibur and King Arthur in my head, and so I have to like do the math to remember which one is when.
Well, we have the same floats.
Yeah, we have
so
a lot of the same floats, and
they look very similar.
We have some due to lack of better words, crossbreeding and membership. You know, to where, I mean, everybody within both groups is super friendly. So, you know, it's an easy fit for, the couple of floats that, participate in our parade and their parade.
Yeah, because obviously King Arthur is a much longer parade, but they are gracious and have become a good partner, I guess, for our captain, and they work together a lot, so it helps both crews.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Phoenix ladies who ride Arthur as well, I believe. So I know that
that's not surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Arthur, you're allowed to do families and all, so that's one of the few parades you can do that,
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't imagine more than 3 or 4 really that you can bring your whole family,
True.
So what's the royalty picking process like?
Well, she picks the guys. I'll pick the girls. Although, to be fair, we have had 2 guys once because for being around as short a time as we are, we've had a lot of gay royalty. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, it's basically my theme. My feelings are whoever best costumes according to the theme. So
yeah,
okay,
and then we don't like to reuse the same people, obviously, because you get to be royalty once. So even if somebody had 2 spectacular costumes 2 years in a row, sorry, you didn't quite make it. You
don't want to make it to where it's like it's Jim's parade. You know what I mean?
Right. And originally, when we started doing the royalty, we were giving out crowns for the ladies, and then I was giving out fezzes for the guys. We were giving out sashes too. But then I noticed that people were already wearing like headwear, like crowns and stuff. So it was like the headwear is kind of getting a little superfluous. So we're still doing the sashes, and this year we're calling our and we rename the royalty each year. But this year it's going to be the Faux King, F-A-U-X, and the Faux Queen, because we're tongue in cheek like that. But what we did replace the crowns with is we got our own flag made.
Ooh.
Which is kind of with the same artwork that's on the platter up there. But
right.
Again, it's just another huge version of my head. It's a very tongue-in-cheek thing. It's like, what makes a crew? What makes a good crew? And it wasn't supposed to be anything serious, but people have really gotten into it. I mean, granted, it's all because of her. I'm not going to have any kind of misconceptions that, people are suddenly really into me. No. They love my wife, they tolerate me, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well, we learned that earlier when you said you had 3 members before she showed up and they got you acting gear, I'm playing with you.
No, the first couple of years, a couple of people showed up because it was really, hey, this is the first day I'm getting into town. We'll have people come in. I mean, there were more people eventually. I mean, I think we were getting a good 20, 30 people, before she showed up. But we were still going after the grease of the poles. But then she showed up, and now it's expanded to, like 100 people. So
you mentioned earlier about, you pick a charity with a raffle. Who have you worked with in the past, or have you picked this year's lucky recipient or anything yet?
This year will be the Roots of Music.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, yeah, that's a great organization.
We did Dolly Parton's Reading Library one year.
The Imagination Library.
Imagination Library.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did, so a couple of years ago, we did an 80s theme. 2022 Electric Boogaloo. And so, because in every 80s movie, they have to save the rec center.
Right.
We picked it's NOLA's, like, rec. I can't remember
like
the name exactly,
but the recreation department.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's who we gave money to.
I think it's NOLA Rack or something. I could be off on that.
Like that.
Yeah.
And when it was still legitimate, I think the first year we did the raffle, because we didn't originally do raffles. We just started doing them within the last 6 or 7 years. We did the Knicks Inclusive Playgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Before everything happened with them, and nobody wants to do anything with them anymore. But so this year's going to be Roots and Music, and so we'll be raffling some stuff off, raise some money for them.
The year without a Mardi Gras in New Orleans, we still did a raffle, and we had a virtual party, and we sent the raffle that year was local to Syracuse, the local arts, music and stage. There's a group that was supporting the local artists, so we picked them. Yeah.
So I noticed in every picture, drawing, what have you, flag, you always have that hat on. Is that a year-round hat?
No. This is
I'm a little disappointed, to be honest.
This hat, my second day in New Orleans ever. So I got there the Saturday, the 7/6/5. So the 4th of March, I came in. It was a Saturday. I was endemic. Now, I'll just preface my story by, I was supposed to fly in from like noon in Syracuse, get to New Orleans like 4ish. By the way, I didn't have any idea when parades were rolling. I had some idea about things, but I didn't really have anybody to educate me. So if I thought about it, I would have gotten like a 6 a.m. flight, because I didn't want to get to the hotel and be waiting around to check in. I'm like, oh, why would I want to do that? Now I'm like, I'd rather wait at the hotel and check in. Mm-hmm. So my flight out of Syracuse got delayed because of snow or ice or something. So I didn't end up flying out till 8 o'clock, and I got rerouted a completely different one. When I arrived, my hotel was over on Canal Street, but where Indemnity was rolling. And I had to get off the transportation from the airport a couple of blocks away and carry all my bags to my hotel. Anyway,
I've seen a few people during parades where they run into the same unfortunate circumstance to where by the time that they get into town, there's a parade already rolling, and it's hitting downtown to where streets are closed off, and they get dropped off 2 or 3 blocks from the parade route, and they have to carry potentially 3 or 4 bags those several blocks just to get to their hotel.
Yeah, it's referred to as the box here, because when the parade's rolling, that box is off limits. You're just not getting in and out of that thing. So either you go in and you make plans to stay, or well, that's it. You're done anyway.
Yeah, she was much better prepared when she came, but we'll circle back to her. So I'll just finish my story. So the next day, my first full day in New Orleans, the 5th. You know how they have the people pushing around the shopping cart selling, whatnot.
Yeah.
Bought the hat for $5, and it's been my official Mardi Gras hat since then, and it's held up. So for $5, it's I don't wear it every day then. I mean, the first couple of years, I wore it like every day, but now it'll show up 1 or 2 days. But I threw it on just to go with the theme, because show that we're matching, and
I was just picturing you, going grocery shopping in Syracuse,
Would. He absolutely would.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear it.
When I first got it, I used to go rollerblading a lot at a local park, and I used to wear this rollerblade, but then I'm like, it's getting a little sweaty, so I want to preserve it. So now it makes an appearance, in New Orleans, and it gets preserved otherwise. But, I was a little bit educated about New Orleans before I came down, but I wasn't nearly educated enough. I mean, I was on the Mardi Gras forum on NOLA.com, but they weren't given that kind of like heads up. Oh, make sure that you schedule, don't arrive at this time or that time. Plus, I was 25 at the time. I didn't know anything. I used a travel agent. This is before you could book stuff on the internet.
Right.
But
you didn't have like the Expedias and.
Well, truthfully, if you don't see it firsthand, you're not going to be prepared anyway. I could give you all the tips in the world, and you'd still show up and go like, "What the? Like, who are all these people?"
I will tell you,
Yeah.
between him and the marching crew that were in the KOE and the people who all were, there's what, 150 of us?
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, roughly.
Not that we're all together all the time.
We'll average it. Let's say yeah.
Yeah. They gave me so much good, real information that when I got down there, sure, yeah, you're right. You don't know what it's like till you get there. But I felt so well prepared, and super, super high compliment. Was asked more than once my first Mardi Gras if I was local.
Hey, all right.
Hey, yeah,
That's
that
pretty
is
good.
Right?
That's damn good to get to lack of better words, confused for being a local.
Yeah. And we did make sure she got baptized appropriately because the first greasy of the poles, 9 in the morning, she's doing Jello shots not Jello shots, pudding shots. Because we have a friend, Dave, who used to roll out a little drink cart and,
screwdriver in one hand, other hand full of pudding shots. I mean, we got out a little late, didn't have breakfast.
Right.
And what am I going to do? My hands are full. I should probably just...
Well, you need hands, so...
Right.
No,
yeah.
The first day I had
Plus
her...
pudding is breakfast, I could consider pudding breakfast. Yeah.
And orange juice that goes with it.
Sure. Screwdriver. Yeah. But
very balanced meal.
Yes.
She was all in from the beginning. The first day we got there, we got checked in our hotel, and then we were heading over. We were on the corner of Iberville or Vienville. I always get those two confused, but Iberville, Vienville, and Bourbon. I stopped before you cross this line. I got a word, and she was crossing the line before I could even finish whatever kind of stupid speech I was going to make. So she was all in.
Then
when are you guys getting in town this year?
We'll get into Slidell real late on the 30. No, the 1st.
The 1st, yeah.
The 1st. Float loading is on the 2nd. So we'll be there for float loading for Phoenix. Yeah, so we're there for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And we're getting invited to fancy parties now. We're getting to go to the Morpheus, I don't know if it's an inauguration or it's official, or it's just
I don't know.
Some kind of fancy Morpheus party, and because we know the King and Queen.
We're friends with the King and Queen this year, so.
Although, to be honest, I hear that they say they know us, so.
And they admit it publicly.
Yes. Now,
on rare occasions.
Now, most crews, they will have a captain, but we don't have a captain. I am the founder and Grand Poobah, because that was the most ridiculous title I could think of at the time. So she's the queen, and I'm the Grand Poobah, and then each year we select royalty.
Yeah.
None of them
sounds like a good time.
Yeah, none of them rise over the rank of faux queen or princess. We can have kings. That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an awesome kickoff for like a vacation, though. Like you've built up your own kind of party. That I just think it's really cool. I'm not aware of anybody else that does it. Like, hey, we're coming in town. Our party starts here. Like, okay, we're in. I'll bring the pudding.
It's remarkable to me that first of all, I tell people, yes, we get our own beads made. My face is on the beads. Now, up here, people don't know what beads are. They just think it's this stuff. They don't understand that it's this stuff that's important.
Yeah, they don't understand the medallion part of it.
Right. So we're doing our best to educate, a little bit at a time.
I use those as my Christmas ornaments. That way, come January 6th, I change it to purple, green, and gold colors on the tree, and it's already decorated.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so this year we went through. Did we use Throwdat this year?
Throwdat, yeah.
Yeah. And we have 1,200 beads, and so we drive to New Orleans from Syracuse, and people just go, "Wait, what? Why do you drive?" I said, "We have 1,200 beads to bring with us,
plus everything else,
right? Plus costumes,
Yeah.
But
plus being here for 2 weeks, you want to be able to meander around without the dependency of calling an Uber, a cab, or having to walk. I mean, while sure there's, the quarter is like a walking neighborhood, but I mean, there's a lot of parts of town to where you want to go there, and it's like it's not really feasible to walk to some of these good restaurants that might be in like Gentilly or out here in Metairie or wherever,
Yeah.
And 1,200 is the most beads we've ever had made. It was just because that's the minimum order they would do. We were using a different company before, and I have no aspersions against the last company, but their prices just went up. We couldn't do it anymore. So, it's really economics. But I got a mule around
Jason's
12.
a friend of ours, and
but
Jason's
over
a
the
friend
course
of
of
ours.
the 2
We
weeks,
love him, so.
Yeah, I got a mule around 1,200 beats. So if you see us out there, ask for some. So I want to get rid of all of them.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Bag.
There's one of those great joys, Mardi Gras Day, when you give out your last set of beads and you're like, I'm done for the year.
Yeah, it's just like riding on a float to where, when you get close to the end of the route, you dump because you don't want to get off of your float and have 3 or 4 bags full of random stuff that you're bringing home. It's like
it just means you did it wrong.
Right, yeah. I paid that money to give it to the crowds, not to miser it away and have to bring it home,
And we always get back to the room and there's always like a bag that's hidden there. It's like, how did we miss that one?
That's when you start handing that out to people when you stop at the gas station to fill up, or
well, even watching the parade, we just bring bags of our beads down to the parade, and we just make parade family. We set up our chairs, and then we're just handing them out to the people who are sitting around watching.
Nice.
Because who doesn't want good quality beads?
Right.
Like, nobody says no. And when they go, no, I've got plenty. I'm like, you do not have these. You won't have these unless I give them to you.
And then they're like, are those your faces on them? Yep, that's us.
It's pretty fantastic.
And then they're like,
so what kind?
wow, you're royalty. Yeah, we just had the money to do it. And the inclination to be so self-deprecating.
So what kind of reaction have your friends up there given you when they see the bead?
Oh, they think they're really cool.
Yeah.
I think most people up here know, well, all of our neighbors and our friends and family know, like, this is our thing. When I first met him, my family was a little like, he goes to Mardi Gras every year? Because they don't know. Nobody up here knows what Mardi Gras is.
Right. There's so many people out there in the world that think that Mardi Gras is nothing but the breast flashing and the inappropriateness stuff that happens on Bourbon, and they don't realize that there's a whole different culture besides the, for lack of better words, the girls going wild and those types of things.
Yeah, and that stuff really peaked in like 2003, 2004. I mean, earlier, like an hour, 2 hours ago, I was reading an article on NOLA.com about they're interviewing Arthur Hardy, and he admitted, he's like, yeah, that image really isn't out there as much anymore. People really aren't talking about that anymore, and so
yeah, and I think
it had always been a kind of a tourist activity anyway. Nobody here really ever did it. I mean, maybe a couple of the college people, but that was about it. But
even the first couple of years when I came home with all of the stuff that we come home with, and there'll be one or two people like, "Oh, what'd you do for that?" And I was like, "I showed up to a parade," and they just threw it all at me. Like I don't have to earn anything.
Has given us a bad name, or has just focused on that one thing, and I don't know, but it's part of it. If it keeps going, I don't hate it, but I don't know. It's just really not part of what I think of as Mardi Gras.
No.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we know people who over the years have given us some just incredible, like, cruise stuff, like rare limited edition stuff
Yeah.
And I don't have permission to use anybody's name, so I'm not going to use anybody's name. But for the last couple of years, somebody who writes in Bacchus sends us like the special like Bacchus ornament that's made by like some really fancy shop down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and
It's one of the
the
jewelers.
incredible
I forget the
generosity,
name.
I think, is just like once you make your Mardi Gras family, because that's really what it feels like. Is that we've just it's a family reunion now we put on there. It's not just Mardi Gras. It's coming to see family.
Yeah.
And
you throw a party of 100 people. I mean, you're naturally going to build a family, as you said. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
where, you know, all those people, they look forward to seeing you every year. You know, not just because that's the time that they go get drunk or whatever, but because they want to see their old friends and catch up.
Yes.
And I mean, our theme this year really is a love letter to New Orleans. I mean, it's a French quarter century, which I thought was really witty.
He's the idea guy. He comes up with the themes.
Okay.
And I was sitting on that theme for years, because I have nothing better to. Sometimes I think, what are we going to do for themes in the future? And it's like 25th year silver celebration. Yeah, that's kind of lame. And then just one that's like French quarter century. Oh, French quarter, of course. That's a great theme. And then I had to like sit on it for several years and not mention it to anybody but my wife. Mm-hmm. Nobody really cared. I was like, I just don't want anybody to steal my theme. Because there's a lot of themes you're going to reuse, you know. But that was one of the good ones. I'm like, that's going to be a great theme.
Yeah. So where can people follow the crew?
We're on Facebook. Crew Lil T-Rock on Facebook. That page is public, so I think if you search us, you can find us. That's about all the social media we have
we're not
at this point. I could start probably Instagram and do other things, but
we're big
I
enough.
don't know how to use it. I have no idea how to use it. Like, I figured out Facebook. I'm good with that.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe it's just show up at our party and
yeah.
It's just an excuse to pass a good time, as they say.
Yeah.
And then if you run into us, we'll have beads all week. So
Absolutely.
there are some certain limited edition things that we're only going to have at the party because they're usually gone by then. So we'll have our CD.
Yeah.
So those are usually all gone by the end of the party, and then the wooden nickels and the poker chips. Those will be new this year. So I don't know. They're also limited edition. So I don't know how many there'll be left after the party either. But beads, we're going to have beads all week.
Yeah, you can guarantee beads will be around.
I got to mule them around.
Yeah.
So I really thank y'all for coming on and telling us a little bit about the the story of the crew. You know, that's really cool. That 20 years later, 22 years later, whatever, or 25 years later,
25.
y'all, that y'all are, still rocking and rolling, and it started from, interactions with people on, an online forum, dedicated to Mardi Gras. But I mean, still, it's, that's an amazing feat.
Yeah, especially if you try to explain to kids today what a forum is. Like, what?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there is no longer any forum on NOLA.com. It now has its own now has its own page on Facebook. The Crew of NOLA.com forum or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for
thank y'all so much, and we look forward to seeing y'all when y'all come down. I hope y'all have a safe trip down, and we will definitely see you on the route.
Absolutely, and we'll be out for your parade, so we'll be looking for you. Good ride.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Have a good one. Happy Mardi Gras.
All right, happy Mardi Gras. Thanks again for tuning in. Be sure to check out tonight's guests online. You can check them out at links all listed over here. Also, If you like us, you can support us. You go to our website, you can purchase our shirts and
These
couple
beautiful
other
things.
goodies that we have out there. And be sure to follow us online as well. The links are all over here. And while you're at it, be sure to click that subscribe button down there and the little bell to stay in touch on when we put out new content. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the route.